Alright, so let's start. Basically, the software is an online system. We'll start by saying that. So it's called Dorthpro. So we have different software basically for different products, different user case. So in this case, this is a production software that works fully online. So it means you have to be connected to the system before you can access it. So everyone has a username and a password. So you need to log in with your username and your password. If a new account is created for you, you need to put in the password, which is 123. So once you put in that 123, then you can log in. System will prompt you to change your password. So when logged in, I'm logged in as an admin, and so that's why my dashboard is like this. So for accountants and admin, the dashboards are always like this. But for your sales officer, your event officers, the dashboard is different. It's not like this. So this dashboard gives you a summary of everything that's going on a day-to-day and also on a monthly basis. Okay, so let me start by explaining what's here. At the top we have the office that you are logged into. Currently we're in the main office, so it means the system also manages multiple locations, so you can have other branches that also want to use the software. The software can also manage them, but you as the admin or the accountant, you can switch between location. So it means every report, everything you do on the system is based on the location you are logged into. So if you want to do anything on a particular location, you need to switch to that location. So here you can change your password and also log out from the system. So switch store, you simply click on this change store button and select the list of the store you want to switch to. Okay, so in here now, on this notifications you see here, the first one is a pencil, which is a shortcut to make sales for a customer. The second one is your soon to expire. So it gives you notification if there's any item that will expire between the current day and in 3 months time. So items to expire in less than 3 months. So any item that will expire between now and 3 months time, it shows you up here. It shows it up here. So we have items that have expired, which is expired item this, and we have items that have reached the reorder level. So the reorder level is a level, or it's a level an item will get in terms of quantity, and then it will tell you that this item will soon go out of stock. Okay, so that's what it means. So the reorder level of it, for example, these items you see here, you see PVC, the reorder level is 10. Now it has gotten to 2, so it's telling you that this item, please, it will soon go out of stock, go and reorder. So you can adjust the reorder level for individual items as well. So the last one is out of stock. Now you have this item before in the system, but now there's no quantity in it. So it's more like what you can use to do your OS, take to the market to purchase, or maybe for production. Okay, so this is a production software like we do know. Okay, now on your dashboard here, you see how we have monthly sales. As you're selling, the system is accumulating the total sales for a month here. The production cost, that's for this one is for the current month. This production cost is the current production cost for the month. As you're making production, the cost for that month. So monthly expense for the month, and your receivables, those that are owing you money, your customers that are owing you. So going further, we have our daily accountants, which shows you our day-to-day transactions on a different day, shows you the revenue. Right, we have a graph showing you that, and also your monthly account are showing you how much you're making each month. You can compare these two. You can do a comparison to the other months and see how much you're making. So that's a summary of the dashboard. Now going further, on the left we have our menus. These menus shows you what you can do, the things, other things you could do with the software, main functions of the software. So some persons may have it, some may not have it, depending on the right you are given. So we have the admin menu, which tells you where we have here to create users. I'll just summarize it. To create a user, just click on add user, enter the username, the full name first, full name of the user, then enter the username. The username should be a single name. Select the role. If it's an admin, cashier, sales rep, accountant, officer, then select the location and click. Once you create the user, you are expected to give that user rights. We call it give rights. So if you go down under the admin menu, you see we have give rights, where you give right to the user as well. So to give the right, you just select the user. You see the list of rights that the user currently have. Then you can delete anyone you want to delete, but if you don't want to, you can just select on the menu that you wish to give to that person, then you select any of the menu you want to use. So if I click on adjust quantity, it will be added, but if it already exists, it will tell you right already exists. So Once user has been created, they can go and change their password using 123. Okay. Now moving further, we also have the disable user, where you can disable a user. To disable a user, if a user is no longer using the software, you can disable them by clicking on their serial number to ask if you want to disable, you disable. You can also activate a user using the same process. You can reset the password of a user. When they forget the password, just click on reset. So it takes them back to their default password, which is 123. Okay, so the categories of the items you want to add, subcategories. So we already have, for the recycling, we already have categories added with consumables, raw materials, and products. Okay, so adding of items is where you add items. So you select the item. If it is raw materials, you select, you put in the raw material name. The item type, it's important to select the item type too. So this item type determines, it actually determines the reports, the financial reports. Okay, so it's different from that category as well. So then we have so let's say if it's product, these are the finished products, and you can create the name of the finished product. Then if it is consumables, create the consumables as well. So you select the item name and select the type as well. Okay, so you can also change category. You can manage the prices of each item. So maybe you want to change the selling price of a particular product or the cost price of a raw material or consumable. You can change it from here. Search the item and click. Then you can change the price that you want to be selling. Let's say I want to be selling 3,000. So this item is a raw material. So raw materials, if you want to be selling your raw materials here, you can put selling price. Then you can sell as well. Okay, so let's you can also manage customer files. I'm just showing you the basic one. So you made a mistake on the customer, you created customer twice and you want to merge them, so you can merge them. Customer, entering the name of the correct customer here and putting the wrong name. Once you merge it, will merge all the items. So before we go to the sales menu or inventory menu, let us look at the production menu first of all. So the first one, okay, before we make production, we have to go to the inventory menu. So inventory menu, this is where you check your product balance, you receive purchases, you adjust quantity, and so on. You can also transfer quantity and all that. So the first, you can set your order level from here for a particular item, like I explained earlier. Product balance shows you only your products, the balance of all your products that you have made from the raw materials. And we have receive purchases. Now this receive purchases to receive consumables and raw materials as well. So when you are receiving purchase, you go to the market, you put in the invoice number that you use to receive these items, put in the supplier name, let's say XYZ Limited. If it's not there, you can add the supplier. Coming here, so let's say XYZ Limited. So once you add the supplier, automatically, because this is a complete accounting system as well, the system creates a ledger for that supplier. So it's important you don't create a supplier that already exists. So let's put in the contact person, put in their phone number and their email if you have. And let's go back to receive purchases. So you put in the invoice number, supplier, let's say XYZ. Click on it, you put in the items that you are receiving. So let's say if it's what's it called now? If it's a consumable, you can put them there. So let's say if it is raw materials, for example, now the raw materials you can say, let's say pet. So this is a raw material. So you see we don't have any pet here. So it shows you the last cost price that you have entered before. So the quantity is, let's say we receive 50. It's quantity of that item. Then you put in the cost price you used to receive it. Now let's say this time we receive at the rate of 25. Click on this, and that's it. You receive that item. Then it's also important you put in if there's a way bill that you use in shipping this item. After, if you are still receiving, first of all, if you are still receiving any item under that same invoice, you go back, let's say PVC, you click on it, let's say you receive 30 kg, and let's say the cost price is still the same, you leave it like that, continue. So at the end of this transaction, if you want to put the see there's way bill and freight there. So way bill or freight, so maybe the cost of transporting this product, way bill, you can put in there. Let's say we spent 2,000 naira then. So once you are done, click on post token. So at this point, we are done receiving that item. Now if you go to your stock balance, now if you go to your stock balance, you see everything you have. We have PVC, we have PET and all that. Then you see PET was 0 before, now it's now 50. PVC we had some before, so it has added up, right? So you see your total stock. You can actually by category. Maybe you want to see only raw materials, you see all your raw materials. If it's only products you want to see, you see all of them. Soon we'll check how our products are gotten from our raw materials. That's under the production menu. Okay, so going further, that's your stock. That's how you receive stock. Now, having received the stock, in the accounting aspect, it's important you also post your how you paid for this particular things you just received. You have only received it into the system now, quantity. Then for the accounting aspect now, we need to receive it. So if we go to financial management, you see we have so many things. We have post expense, we have pay debts for customers that are owing you. We have customer payments. You can pay customer payment, post customer payment here, reverse deposit, reverse expenses, post debt balance, and all that. So what we want to do now is to post purchases. Right. So post purchases now, you see the purchase that you made, the 2 items, the total amount due. Then if we click on view, what happens here is this. So it shows you everything you bought. You see the invoice amount 155,000 there. You see here way B, we have 2,000 naira for way B. So total amount is 157,000 naira. So now you have to select the mode of payment. Is it full payment? If it is full payment, you have to select the credit ledger. If it is cash or any of your banks. So on your accounting, you have to create all your account class. We've created some of the most important account class. If you have a new bank, you have to create it so that the system creates a ledger for that bank. So these are the banks available here. So if it's your cash account, your petty cash account, you select it. If it is any of your banks, you select it. So mean this is what you are paying with. However, if it is credit, you select credit and click on post purchase. Once you click on this, so the system will record that you are owing this particular vendor a certain amount of money. So let's assume we pay in full payment. So let's say we use a cash account. So we post purchase. So what happens is that the money used to pay that person is now subtracted from your cash account, right? So we have posted that purchases. If we go to our chart of accounts, or if we go to our financial reports rather, if you go to our financial report, you should check now under our financial report. We have our different financial reports. We have our yearly income statement, which shows you all your normal financial bookings. Your yearly income statement, for example, you see we have revenue for this year. So far, the previous year 2024 revenue is 36,000. It always compares it against the previous year. This year, your comprehensive income statement compares the present year against the previous year. If it is monthly, we also have the one for monthly as well. For daily rather, it compares. So here now, cost of goods sold for that last year. See, currently now there is none here because we've not done any cost of goods sold. So we've not used the goods that were sold, right? So we have other revenue. So expenses now, we have operating expenses 2,000 naira, admin, other finances, total expenses and everything. You see them there. Okay, so this is our comprehensive income statement. Operating expense, remember we spent 2,000 naira for purchases that we made earlier, as you can see it here. So admin expense, I can even click on admin expense. It will display all the expenses that made, all the different expense head that made up this admin expense. If I click on it, closes back, so we see the different expense head we've created: salaries and wages, utility bills, bank charges, and all that. So if we have loss due to inventory removal, maybe we did an adjustment in your inventory and you remove some item, so system will record it as a loss. Okay, so loss from asset disposal, maybe you sold one of your assets. If there's a loss from the selling of that asset after the system has calculated it, it will add it here. So we have other finance costs, like maybe your loan fees that you make payment for and all that. We have your depreciation and all that. System calculates everything and gives you the total expenses here and gives you your earning before tax, right? and your net earnings, then gives you your net profit. So current net profit is minus 2,000. Why is this so? Because we've not made any profit here. So if you go further, if we look at our financial position, yearly financial position so far. So we are looking at 2025. Click on this, so you see now. So our financial position currently now, this is what we have currently. So cash and cash equivalent is showing minus because we're not actually putting money here. So you need to put in money in all of your accounts first of all, so that system will be subtracting it. So you see the previous year total cash we have is 978,000 naira. In here now we have removed 157,000 that we used to make payments. So it's more like we are owing this cash and cash equivalent. We have our inventories, which is 156. Inventory is 157,000. So both has to be balanced. Our inventory is what this, right? So in here we have our equity and liabilities. We have our current equity, current liabilities, non-current liabilities, and everything in here as well. Okay, so that's for the statement of account. You can actually click on each of them to display what made up that. So you see we have our cash stamp with each bank and everything there. You can still click on each of them to display the transaction history for that year, for that particular account. So you click on it, shows you everything that goes on in that account over time. So there is a transaction statement of account for every account. So both your customers, your vendors that were created on the system as regarded as a ledger. So you can select a particular this, you can click on any of these things here and it shows you what went on. If I click on inventory, it shows me all the transactions on inventory, everything here. So as an accountant will understand this better, okay? You as an accountant. So that's for that. We also have our cash flow, which shows you your flow of cash. So you see we have purchases, we made purchases of 157,000. You see our cash flow, our net cash flow. You see our cash flow statement shows you your cash receipts from customers, purchases, cash paid for purchases. If you go down, we see our cash flow for operations, sales of assets, investment securities, purchase of assets, and all that. So we have from investment as well, just like loans and all that as well. So the financial management is actually used to do most of these transactions. So just what we did earlier was to post our purchases. So that's post our purchases because we purchased. So if you look at our inventory now, we have our stock balance here, which shows you everything you have and the worth of everything. Using the cost price, it shows you the worth of products. This stock balance shows you the worth of both your products and your raw materials that you have together. If you want to see only raw materials, you click on raw materials, you see the worth of raw materials you have. Select your categories and it shows you that. Now the next thing I want to do now is how do we convert this product, these raw materials into finished products. To do that, we go to the production menu. Under the production menu, you see we click on make a product. Once you click on make a product, you select the product that you want to make. What is the product that you want to make? Let's say for example, I want to make pet flake. So pet flakes, let's say for example, how many quantity are you making? So if it's in kg, so this one currently is in kg, then you know how you do your production. So if it's in normal quantity, you put in there. Let's say I'm making 500 kg. So I've made it after the production. This is the duty of the production person who is in charge of production. So I use pet flake as a raw material to make. Forgive me. I'm making pet flake as a product. So pet flakes is the product here. I'm making 500. So what is the raw material that was used for that pet flake? So I put in, let's say I'm using I'm still using pet. The pet is actually used to make the pet flake. So how many did I make? Let's say how many did I use for that? What did I use? How many pets did I use to make up this 500 quantity? Let's say I use 50 kg. Let's say I use 20 kg to make that. I click on this, so automatically it gives me this. Okay, so the unit cost of this one I use is 2,500. So once I'm done, I just click on post product. So immediately click on post product, what the system does is that it converts the raw materials, the raw material you use, which is 20 PET, to make that product that you just made. So the raw material, if you go to our stock balance now, you see now we have a PET flake. We made 500 PET flake. You see our store worth is still the same thing. Yes, though the cost price for making this PET flake, system converts it and gives you the cost based on the cost at which you bought that raw material as well. Okay, so if you go back to our raw material, you see now that PET has reduced to 30 because we used 20, right? So the total cost of that one has also reduced. So that's basically how you make product. So you convert your raw material to product. So there are cases where you use more than one raw materials depending on the client. If you use more than one raw material to make a product, we can add that for you to select more raw material to make a product. Okay, so after you've done that, that's about it. So system records that you have made all of that, so you have your product that has been made there. So not only when you sell this product will there be a cost, the cost of sales, cost of goods sold, right? So that's how you make your product straightforward. So there are reports for everything you do here. Like we have production statistics, production report, shows you all the products you have made on a daily basis. Almost of reports on a daily basis, where you can search, use a date range to search for it, right? Okay, let's sell now. Let's see how the sales now looks like. So to sell, you can use this pencil icon here, or you go to the sales menu and click on make sales, right? Click on make sales, or you click on this pencil. So you enter the customer name. Let's say I put in the customer. If the customer is not there, just click on add new customer, put in the name of the customer, put in their phone number, address, and that. So you can go back then, type the name of the customer. Click. So once you click, you start entering the items you want to sell for the customer. So you can sell both products and raw materials. You can see this PET is a raw material. So if you want to sell, you can sell. If there's quantity, you can sell. If there's no quantity, you can sell. So if you click on this, so how many are you selling? By default, the quantity is 1. You can increase or you can reduce, or you can click on this pencil sign to change the whole quantity. Let's say you're selling 10 or you are selling 100. Then you just update. Click on update. So this is the total amount due, 100,000. So you select the payment type. Is it cash, POS, transfer, credit, multiple payment, or deposit? Deposit means the customer has an account with you. He has an account. Deposit means he's paying part of the money, then he will be owing the remainder, right? While the other we have credit means he's not paying now, right? So if his credit system shows that okay, on your account statement shows that someone on your financial position shows you those that are owing you. Let's say this, if it's transfer, you select transfer, select your bank. So let's say Stanbic IBTC, click, and then so you can print your receipt. So you see, shows you the customer, shows you everything, and the detail of that transaction. That's how you sell, no big deal, right? So I'll go over it again. Basically, select, put in the item that you're selling. Let's say PVC now, select. So you see PVC does not have selling price. So if it doesn't have selling price, you cannot sell it. So there must be a selling price for that item. Let's click on this PVC powder. If you want to sell other items added to it, you can also click. So it should just be added just like that. So let's say this person, let's use credit for this person and see the difference. Okay, so you can print your receipt to the person. You see it's showing you balance of 6,000 here. Okay, so that's how you sell. If you go to our financial reports now, we have our sales report, which shows you total sales for the day, cash, POS, transfer, credit, right? Total sales 106, transfer is 100,000, credit is 6,000 naira. Okay, so you can click on the invoice to view the items that were sold for that particular person. So we have POS payment, cash payment, these are for payment. So we have cashier report that shows you the different person that operates the system, how they collect money for the transactions they made. So for example, this person has collected transfer, credit, and all that. So we have our revenue by category, shows you the revenue for different categories of items that you sold. So you can create categories for different items. Then we have we have the daily income statement, which is the same thing as your profit and loss statement. This one is daily, so for today now this is your profit and loss statement for today. Revenue 106, cost of goods sold 11,150 based on the goods we sold, right? So this is the total gross profit 94,000. So if you go further, look at the operating expense for today, you see the total expenses. If you want to look for the month, to know your income statement for the month, you can select the first day of the month, the date, search, it gives you your income statement for the whole month. See your net profit down there. Then if you go further, that's our daily income. We have our expense report. So there's a place where you post your expense. We'll do that shortly. So we have the customer statement, which you can select a customer to see all their transactions with you over time. Let's see, I select the date, then I select the name of the client. It shows you the current balance. Your account balance is 6,000, meaning it's only 6,000, and that's why it's red. So clearly it shows you all the transactions. I click on this one, it says this one it has been paid. I click on this, so you understand what it means. So you can also deposit here, as you see this person showing 6,000 naira, right? So that's what it is. So in here now, so you can deposit in your wallet as well. That's what it means. So still looking at the financial report, we have debtors report. So this debtors report shows you those that are owing you. You see this person here 6,000. If you click on view, to show you the particular invoice that this money is gotten from, so you can click on the invoice to view what's inside the invoice that made up that invoice. Okay, so we have debt payment report. So those that are made payment, customer payment, there's no payment from customer, vendor payment. So you see we pay the vendor today. Remember the vendor we bought for us, showing you report showing your vendors. So pay 157,000 naira for this particular vendor. So we have vendor statement just like we have customer statement. It shows you the transactions between you and the vendor. Outstanding debts posting. Let's leave that line. Don't really do that one. So we have cash sales report, POS sales report, transfer sales. So you see this is transfer sales and the bank that the money was transferred to. Okay, so we have vendor payables. This shows you all the vendors that you are owing, right? So we have our trial balance. You see our trial balance was on the left, one will be equal to what's on the right. Right, your debit will be equal to your credit, so it's a dual leg posting. So you see all of our trial balance for today. You can select the date range to view as well. So we also have our asset postings. We look at assets. We have depreciation report, we have monthly financial position. So you can select a month. Let's say I want to see for this month of this is what month are we? February. Select the year 2025 and get the financial position. It shows you your financial position for this month. So you see cash and cash equivalent is 57,000 naira, account receivable 6,000 naira, inventories 145,000. So you can click on any of them. So account receivable, I click, you see shows you those that are owing you. So you see Kelly is owing you 6,000 naira. Click on it to show you every transaction that you and Kelly has made. That's your account receivables, right? Those that are owing you. Okay, so we have our yearly financial position as well, which you select a year and shows you everything. We have our cash flow where we have, so you see customers have given you 100,000 for today. So we have cash paid for this basic accounting. So we have our cash flow there. Then so going further, we have our account statement for each ledger. Now you want to check the account statement for each ledger. That's for each account, be it a bank, a customer, whatever. So you can put the ledger name. The ledger name could be you can put the ledger name. Let's say cash account. It should be that. If it's the customer, I can put the customer name to show me all the transactions between me and this customer. That's what it means. So we have also have loans received. So you can post your loans as well. If you collect loans, you also have to post the loans. We'll show you that other financial management. You see your loan transactions, if you made payment for the loan and if you received the loans. You have director transactions, all the transactions made within for directors, like director remuneration or director's contribution. So for other financial costs transactions, like maybe you paid for loan fees and all that. So we have a loan fee like this one, other financial, your taxes, loan fees and everything. So we have a yearly income statement, shows you all your income statement for the year. So we have other transactions, like basic other transactions that you've posted. Okay, so now let's look at the financial management, which is the basic, which is the major part of the accounting system. So we have post expenses. So you can post your expense. Let's say we made an expense of 10,000 naira. Select the expense ledger. Let's say it's for transportation, salary, and wages. If the ledger is not here, you can create a ledger under your class of account. You can create it there. We'll look at the class of account shortly and see how it works. So you click on, let's say it's for salaries and wages. So you select your contract ledger, which the ledger are you paying from? Is it your cash account, your Stanbic, or let's say it's Access Bank, or let's say our cash account, because there's money in there. So let's say we're paying 30,000. So to pay the amount, you put your description. You can say being salary payment for February, for example. So you post the expense. So your expense has been recorded. Then we have pay debt. So this pay debt, now how do we pay debt? Remember, a customer bought something, it shows you all the items, all the customers that are when you click on pay debt. So this person is owing 6,000. You click on it, you see here, you can view the invoices like I said. If there's nothing there, go back. So click on view. So how do we now pay the debt? You can click on pay to pay the debt. But to pay the debt, there must be money in the person's wallet. You can only pay debt through the customer's wallet, so you have to fund the customer's account. So when the customer comes in and make payment, first of all, you fund the customer account by either clicking on that fund account, or you can click on customer payments. So select the customer, you put in the amount. Let's say this person, we know he's owing 6,000. Let's say he paid 7,000. Right? So you select the payment option. Is it cash, POS, or transfer? How do you pay? So let's say if it is cash, select cash. If it is POS, you have to select the bank, obviously. Right? So let's say it is cash, so we can increase our cash. So let's say let's pay payment or invoice. You click. So you see the account balance is owing, so there's nothing there. So you click on this. So once you click, you print a receipt. You can issue the receipt to them to show them that they deposited money. So account balance now is 1,000 naira. So in their own account. So in here now, you can now print. As I said, you've printed your receipt already. So now next to do, after paying that money, you can now offset their bill. I come here now, so you see in here 6,000 account. So if I click on pay now, so are you sure you want to complete this transaction? I click OK. Once I click OK, debt has been cleared. So that person's debt has been cleared. That's how you pay debt. So you have to fund the account first before you pay the debt. Okay. So next you can post debt balance. Once you okay, you don't really need this one. Leave that one. So we've seen post purchases. So vendor payments, peradventure you are owing any vendor, it shows here. There's a button that will display. It's just the same way you pay your customers. You just click, it takes you to a page where you pay the vendor, select your mode of payment, and that's all. Then post vendor balance is just posting vendors that are owing. You don't really need all of this. There are ways you can do that. So okay, yes, post opening balance. And this post opening balance is like when you're starting the business. When you start using the software, those that are owing you, or those you are owing, or you open the balance of all of your different accounts, maybe your cash account or your different banks. So you have to put, so let's say put in the ledger that you want to put in. Now let's say, for example, let's say my cash account, I put it here. The transaction type, is it debit or credit? If it is debit, that means you are putting in money, right? I don't know, your accountant, you know how it is. If it's credit, you are moving money, so you put in the amount you want to put in. Let's say 30,000. So if I select debit for accounting, you know what it will do. So I click on post. So this money will be posted into that person's account. That's opening balance. That's how you post. Even those, if a vendor is owing you, so all you can select the transaction date. You can select a backward transaction date, but you cannot select a futuristic one. So if a debtor is owing you and you start using the software, you have to post in how much those debtors are owing you. So if it's a debtor, you know it's debit. For accounting, the accountants know what to do. Okay, so that's for post opening balance. That's why I say you don't need this post debt balance, post debt balance, post customer payment and all of that. So that's for post opening balance. So you can reverse the transaction. Maybe all these transactions that have been posted now, maybe there was a mistake, so I can reverse it. So you see all the transactions that I've posted, the details and everything. If I reverse it, everything, just maybe I made a mistake. If I reverse it, even if it is sales, I can reverse it as well. If it is purchase payment, I can reverse. Once I click on reverse, everything goes back to the default setting there. It's important you always watch what you are posting so you get it right. Then we have post fixed assets. So for assets that you buy, you need to post the fixed asset, as in post the amount, the payment amount. And that's what I mean by post fixed asset. So it shows that you have paid for that asset. So post depreciation for assets, and post other transactions. In these other transactions, you come to loans. For example, there are different transactions. For example, loans. I click on loans now. So I select, let's say, the transaction date, transaction type. Let's say maybe I'm borrowing. So how much did they borrow? Let's say they borrow me 100,000, for example. So you select the financier, which bank is borrowing you the amount. So which loan account? Is it a short-term loan or long-term loan? So let's say it's a long-term loan. Which ledger now is the account going to be deposited into? That's the essence of this contract ledger. Which money is going to receive? So I put maybe Stanbic IBTC's. You can put the details here of the transaction in the description. You click on post. That's how you post loans. You say if it is loan, if it is borrowing, system knows what to do. It does the normal. If it is repayment, system will subtract. If it is repayment, it will subtract the money that you are owing from it. So when you want to post your repayment, so you put the amount you are repaying. So system select the ledger and remove the money from the statement. Okay, we have director transactions like remunerations and contributions. You have to select the transaction type. You select which of the, if it is equity, capital, retained earnings, director current account, then select which account that money is being collected from or is being paid into, depending on the type of transaction, if it is contribution or remuneration. Then we have loan fees, we have other fees like tax, bank charges that you incur and everything. This is where you post them as well, because all of this is important. You post all so that you know your income statement, your financial, your position, your everything, all your financial books will be balanced. Okay, that's from that. Then we also have our other transactions that you want to post. Maybe you just want to do debit and credit transaction. Maybe you want to move money from one place to the other. Maybe you want to transfer money from one place to the other, and this one is different from opening balance. So other transaction, maybe you just want to put in money somewhere. That's the essence of this one. Okay. All right. So let's go look at our financial report again and see some things here. For example, now we have our expense report, which shows you all the expenses. You see, we have expense posted here, a ledger, debit ledger, and credit ledger, and the details and whoever posted it. And going further, we have our daily income statement, which shows you everything. You see now we have expenses. We have admin expense of 10,000 naira, and operating expenses and all that. So then we have going further, we also have our financial positions and our yearly financial positions. For example, 2025. Select this. You see everything here. So we have our cash and cash equivalents. It shows you what's going on in our cash accounts. You can click on them to display which of the accounts money. So you see Stanbic IBTC, you see we received the loan 200,000. You can even click on it to display the transaction. You can see long-term loans here. You can see, right? Okay, so if we go back just like that, so if you go down, you see now we have non-current liabilities. We have a long-term debt here, which is long-term loan, 100,000. You can even click on it to show you which bank it was received. So this your books will be balanced. Okay, so cash flow, you can view it again to see cash flow, total transactions. All of these reports, you see we have loan transaction, which shows you the loans. You see total loans received 100,000 for today. This was the loan transaction that was posted, right? So that's about it. So let's look at the assets before we look at the chart of account. Let's look at the chart of account. So we have the account group. We've already created all of the account groups. So we have we have the 5 basic accounting group where we have your assets, your liabilities, your what's it called? Your assets, your liabilities, equity, your the other two. You already know that one. So we have our account subgroup. You can select your machine. We have asset, liability, income, expenses, and equity. So you select them. We've created most of the subgroups already, depending on how you want to classify your account. So we have the account class. So for example, we select assets, current asset or fixed asset. That's the subgroup. So the assets, you can put it there. Fixed assets, you can put them there as well. We have our account ledgers, which if you want to add a new ledger, be it a bank or a customer name and all that. Mind you, if you want to add the supplier, you don't need to come here. Just add the supplier. System automatically knows which ledger to place it. If it's a customer as well, system automatically knows. But for banks, for your banks and your other expense ledgers and all, so you need to come here to create them. You can view your chart of account to see what we currently have. Different chart of accounts that we have. Currently we have 33. You can view them here. Okay, so you can add if you want to add. You can also update a ledger. Maybe the name entered was not correct. You can update it or change the type of account you want to change it. So you can change the group, change the subgroup, the class, or you can change the name as well. Okay, that's for the chart of account. So let's look at asset management. So this production software also manages your asset. So you can add your asset location. That's where you want to position the asset. If it's the main office or warehouse and so on, so how you want it. So to add a new asset, click on add new assets. So you put in the asset, let's say let's say for example a type, let's say minibus for example, quantity, let's say 1, manufacturer, let me just say Honda, or manufacturer, the supplier and the person that supplied you that was, let's say placing motors for example. So you put your date of purchase, then put the asset cost. So even if it is 1, put the cost of that one. Okay, so let's say 30, let's say 3 million for example. So you put your salvage value. Obviously you know what the salvage value is, the amount it will worth at the end of its useful life. Let's say salvage value will be 1,200,000. So this is important for you to do your depreciation. So your useful life, let's say for 5 years, it's going to be for 5 years. So deployment date, that's the date you start using it. Let's say start using this, let's say start using it this for example. So asset location, you see different locations, maybe head office, procurement, front desk, blah blah blah. So asset account, so if it is lambda building, office equipment, so all of this has been created in your class of accounts, in your chart of accounts rather. So let's say furnitures, okay, this is motor vehicles, sorry. So motor vehicles, so put the specification, let's say 8-seater bus, white color, something like that. So you see, now we've created these assets. The asset is there, but it has not entered our financial books, right? So we have to post. That is where if you go to asset register now, you see we have this as an asset. You can view to see the information. So there's an asset number, unique number for it. Okay, so we have our motor vehicles and or the total cost, total book value. Current book value now is this because we've not done depreciation on it. That's it, right? So if you go to financial management, click on post fixed asset. Very important. So see one of our assets, a minibus. So by default the asset ledger is motor vehicle. So which bank did we pay for? Is it a cash account? Is it a loan? Is it bank or all of that? Let's say we use our Stanbic IBTC bank for example. So payment for asset purchase and post asset. Now only when you've posted an asset can you now post your depreciation. But before we look at depreciation, you go to our financial report now. Go to your yearly financial position or your monthly financial position now. You will now see now our assets. You see we have non-current asset, which is we have this. You can see here now. So we have motor vehicles here, 3 million naira. It has been posted. You can click on it to view the details, right? Okay, so if you go, let's go back to our financial management now. Next we need to post our depreciation. When it's time for posting your depreciation for this year, once you post depreciation for a vehicle, you cannot post again for that year until another year. So you can select the asset, so put the depreciation ledger, the expense ledger depreciation expense, current ledger as your office equipment or motor vehicle, so you select and post depreciation. Now that we have post depreciation, now let us now go back to financial report. First of all, look at your financial report. You will now look at your yearly financial position. For example, you see if there is depreciation now, you see because the depreciation now, our property and equipment has reduced value, right? So you can see accumulated depreciation here. Motor vehicles is minus 360,000, just like that. So it keeps recording it and all that. So that's for that one. So if we go back to our assets now, if you look at our asset register now, you see now that your assets now, this is the cost, but the value has reduced. If I click on view, so you see now what's the current value, book value of the asset now. It's now 2,640,000. So whenever you make a sales, maybe you sold this asset, if you post it, system will record that one as well. So how do when you make a sale? So if you look here, we have allocating of assets. Maybe you want to allocate it to somewhere. You can click it, change it, select the location. You want to take it to security post and all that. Okay, so let's say we dispose an asset. Now disposing of assets is different from deleting of assets. You can only delete an asset that you have not posted the payment. Therefore, disposing, you can dispose an asset you have made payment for, and you have done even if you have not done depreciation, you can dispose it. So if you have not done depreciation, if you dispose, the system does the calculation. But now we've done depreciation. If you dispose of the asset, you click on this, put in your reason. You see, it's asking you to put in the quantity. Let's say why we bought it, it was 2 also. Select your reason. If it is scrapped, scrap means it was not sold, so you are obviously not going to make profit from it. So if it is sold, you put in the amount that it was sold for and which account it entered. So let's say we sold it for 2.8 million. So obviously you are supposed to make profit 2,800,000. Once I dispose of it, if we go to our financial books now, let's go to our financial reports. You see, we go to, let's start with daily income statement. So for our daily income statement, you can see in our other revenue gain from disposal of assets. You see, we gain 160,000 from the disposal of that asset. Because when we dispose it, we sold it off based on the book value. The book value was 2.6, and we sold it for 2.8 million. So it was about 2.6 something. Now we sold it for 2.8. So the profit we made was 160,000. Okay, so that's about it. Okay, so we have other expenses here and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's basically everything you need to know about the accounting and the production system. So if there's any question, you can always say. If you see on our dashboard now, you see our monthly expense 10,000 naira, production cost 50,000, monthly sales, receivables. There's nobody owing us now. So you see everything has been recorded here. Thank you very much.